I'm going to wave at you, sorry. Hello, people in the doorway. Man, those people are going to eat. Should we just go eat instead? That sounds lovely. I had a cocktail before this, but, that's why I'm kind of going off one. Cool. Can I be really rude and ask, no, can you get the door? Okay, cool. As a first and foremost, thank you everyone for turning up. This is like one of the first things in the convention, and I'm kind of surprised this many people are here, frankly, so thank you. My name is Elliot Page, and this is short anime for the busy or easily distracted. I don't know about you, but I kind of fit more in the second one. I tend to pause anime like 9 minutes in, then walk away, and then, oh, what's this thing on my PS4? Yep, there we are. Someone else is a comrade in arms. But you come back like an hour later, and you're like, oh, I've got half an episode of bleh here. What's this? Yep. Oh, someone's trying to come in, bless them. Did you actually lock us? No. So this is a panel about anime that is like 12 minutes or shorter in length because life is far too busy. You've got not enough time, not enough bandwidth. You just want to watch some anime when you're like in the Tesco like line or whatever. Hey man, that's how I watch half my cat anime. So yeah, I'm going to introduce you to some. I haven't watched all of it. I've watched a fair amount. I'm going to introduce some things that I think are worth your time. Maybe you'll agree, maybe you'll disagree. Okay, we can just leave the door open if people can't get into it. Okay, anyway, so moving on. Right, it works. So who the hell am I? I'm Elliot. Hello. I run a search engine for legal digital manga availability. So you go there, type a title in, tells you where you can find it and buy it, or read it for free. I haven't yet made the distinction in the website. I have a tiny website with a terrible domain name that I bought while drunk and in San Francisco. I initially had a problem registering it, and I had to phone up the registrar and say, hey, can you let me have this terrible joke website? And they laughed their ass off at me. I also formerly used to write and podcast for uk-anime.net, now under pseudo-new management due to the editor-in-chief buggering off to actually work for Anime Limited. Weird. Collusion. I'm also on Twitter and talk about crap. Yeah, I also on Twitter and talk about a lot of crap and post random pictures of my cat at Elliot Page. So, come on, please work. Right. Okay, anyway, so on to the actual panel itself. So there's loads of short anime out there. As streaming has taken off and people are buying more and more stuff and licensing it, the availability is kind of blown up, which is great. Some of it's worth your time, not all of it, quite a bit. Everything shown here in this panel is legally available, streaming right now, so you can go watch it, with one exception, which I'll get to. Everything is less than 12 minutes an episode, with one exception that I've pulled because I'm running this panel and I can do that all right. There's much more out there that I could go into, but didn't get into this panel due to either time or, frankly, I hadn't watched enough to have a proper opinion on. And also, this panel will be available online afterwards if you'd like a reference or if you want to have something you point to and go, he's wrong. So, yeah, go nuts. This is also the last slide that has so many words on it, I promise you. So first off, shout outs to Because.moe, which is a anime streaming search engine done by my good friend Matt out in America, and it's really handy. You can go there, find out what's streaming where. It's not fully comprehensive because some sites are really awful at letting you find out what's on there. Amazon. Also anychart.net, which is generally busted, but is actually useful to find out what is out there in a season, even though most of their titling is terrible. So moving on to the panel. Short anime, and so all of life and experience falls into 3 general categories. And I'm going to take you through all 3 of them in this panel. So the first one is, is animals, the first part of life. So first of all, we have a very important cat show, Chii's Sweet Home. It comes over 3 different series, Chii's Sweet Home, Chii's New Address, and Chii's Sweet Adventure, which is slightly different. They're very cute adventures of a precocious little grey kitten, based on an exceedingly popular manga that basically made vertical comics like become obscenely wealthy overnight because everyone bought the dang thing. And it's also really good, available digitally. Only Chii's New Address is available on Crunchyroll. Chii's Sweet Home actually wasn't licensed in a weird way. It's not like there's a massive complex backstory that you need to worry about, frankly, so you can just jump straight in because it's a cat. It's a 3-minute episode about a grey cat. Chii's Sweet Adventure is a newer one which started last year and is a CG series. It's now actually ended as of last month, or September, I believe, and it's a CG thing, which can be to your taste or maybe not. That one's slightly longer. It's 12 minutes each. Available on Amazon Prime Video if you've got Amazon Prime. So I've got some clips because that's the most important thing of this. And so here's a bit of Chii's New Address, the series on Crunchyroll. But yeah, here, Chii's family are moving house because they're not actually supposed to have pets in their flat, and so they're having to very quickly beat a retreat and change address, hence the name. Anyway, moving on. If you've had to move with cats around, that's kind of actually very obvious and kind of relatable. Moving on, this is Chii's Sweet Adventure, which is the newer series on Amazon Prime. This is a smaller segment. So yeah, that's the newer series on Amazon Prime Video. Well, have a look if you've got it and you don't mind the CG style, frankly. All right, moving on. So more cats. Oh dear. So next is PoyoPoyo, a 2012 show about a round, not fat ginger cat and his like rather useless owners. 3 minutes each, includes a full like weird opening song, which is bizarrely catchy, and you find yourself humming it, which is bad. The manga was briefly available on the service J Manga, which is now long dead, sadly. So I've got like one volume somewhere scrawled away in PDF form on my computer somewhere. It's available on Crunchyroll, and also, one thing to note is that Poyo's voice actress is the same person who does Pikachu from the Pokemon series, at least in Japanese. So, you know, she's got a talent for voicing orange things, yellow things. Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty good at poking fun, not just at cats, but also their idiot owners. So, kind of highly relatable, especially to myself. So, here's a little clip. In this one, Poyo's owner, Moe, is trying to get Poyo into like a magazine for cat fanciers. So yeah, I really like that episode. So I put the entire thing in almost. It's missing the opening, but yeah, that's an entire episode of PoyoPoyo. It goes on like that for a long way. So next is a show I didn't kind of initially like, but it really grew on me with time, and also I was forced to watch it for a podcast. Kind of helps you get one over for things. Bono Bono. It's the adventure of this weird spaced out like blue seal who's just kind of very chill and very relaxed. His friend who's a little squirrel and an asshole raccoon who keeps kicking them both. It's based on a really long running manga, which is like 42, 43 volumes at the moment, and previously was adapted into like film interstitials like you'll see on like ITV Film Night or whatever. Currently still ongoing, 82 episodes, each one around 5.5 minutes. The whole thing's very like weirdly kind of philosophical and relaxed and kind of chilled out. Like the whole thing kind of just has entire episodes which are like, what's it like to have a weird family? Or how does that rock get there? Or where's my favorite stone? You know, stuff that matters in life. Like, kinda. It's not quite as aggressive as SpongeBob in Chasing the Stoner audience. But yeah, it doesn't really have a particular thrust or any particular sort of like intensity behind it. It's just this nice little thing to watch about a weird slow talking seal thing. But yeah, so I'm going to show you a wee snippet of it from one of my favorite episodes. So yeah, this episode, well, frankly, you'll see. I'm going to cut that one short a wee bit because it goes on for a bit too long after that. I thought I'd cut that video. Anyway, but yeah, that's Bono Bono. It's very chill, frankly. It's pretty nice in that way. So next is lovely Muko. You can blame Anthony Askew for this one, YouTuber superstar blue-haired nonsense extraordinaire. So I didn't initially like this, but then he kind of like bullied me a wee bit until I put it in here. It's a CGI Bizarro series starring an idiot dog. Lots of you get to see the dog's butt an awful lot, frankly. Based on a 10-volume manga, which is still ongoing since 2011. Previously had 2 TV series, again using movie interstitials. It's kind of nice. Like it's about a glassblower and his, as aforementioned, dumb dog living in the middle of nowhere. Quite simple coloring, quite simple designs, which kind of makes it engaging and also quite active because there's not a lot of detail going on, so everything kind of moves quite nicely. It's one of these cases where the dog can understand the human, but the human can't understand the dog, and the dog likes talking an awful lot. It does a really cool thing that I really like in terms of style, which you'll see shortly, where when the dog talks, it appears in the like air on the screen. The people can't see it, but it's like a nice little sort of text in frame sort of thing. I'm a big fan of that sort of thing. Like Yoda Kill sort of did that as well. Also, check out the cast. Like, look at the size disparity between them all. Like, what the hell is up with this tiny girl? Like, what? Like, what is going on? She's like 80% eyeballs. What is going on with her head? Also, the dude who looks like a hard man bouncer is actually like a big softy dude who just eats too much cake, I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, pretty nice cast. The glass blower dies. And yeah, so let's give it a wee go. But yeah, I don't own a dog, but I always assume that's what they're thinking at all times. It's just like, praise me for being cool. Also, I want to walk. Anyway, so back to cats again, because that's very important. This is, I think, a new edition. Bananya, 2016 animation, 13 episodes of 3 minutes each. It's about a cat that lives in a banana. That's normal. That's fine. Like, don't cats live in all bananas? Nothing weird about that. It's got this really good narrator who has loads of really awful dry puns in him, and is just very sort of relaxed. Also recently released, licensed by Discotech, and is actually getting a dub, which is kind of unusual for short anime because that stuff is like kind of awkward and doesn't really make returns generally because it's so short. You can't really fill a disc. But in short, it's pretty fun and daft in its own little weird way. And so, yeah. So yeah, someone mentioned Tom and Jerry. That's actually quite nice because I found out apparently the opening to Tom and Jerry in Japan has an entire song along with it because of course it does, and it talks about how they fight amicably, which is like, sure, I guess it's a very charitable way of looking at it. Anyway, so moving on, that's the animals done with. Next is what's second? Second thing that's most important in life? Not quite. If I can click the thing, idiots. Also comedy, more generally the comedy section. There's tons of comedic shorts out there because comedy's really easy to do in a short amount of time. You know, you get in, you tell your jokes, you get out again, done. That's all you really need. It doesn't need a backstory or anything. So first is the entire reason I made this panel is Teekyu, which the people who were very, very early would have seen a snippet of. This is kind of a weird powerhouse. Each episode is 2 minutes each. 108 episodes over 9 seasons at this point, started in 2012, kind of sporadically occurs. One time they announced both the 4th and 5th season at the same time, which was like Christmas and birthday all at once for me. The 9th series was just aired in the summer season and had the temerity to go to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. What? It had an ending song, which was also terrible, so I don't know why they bothered. Season 1 is admittedly quite ropey because they're still finding their feet. The whole thing's basically spearheaded by one dude. I forgot to note the name down, but there's a really good article on ANN about this, done by Mike Toole, which explains the entire process of how this show gets made, like by basically one person in the spare half an hour he has between everything else he does on his job. Originally part of Studio Mappa and then sent out to Studio Millipens, I think is how you pronounce it. Yeah, there we are. But yeah, it's got based on an ongoing current manga, which is atrociously ugly, frankly, but it's still currently going at 13 volumes, only in Japanese. But yeah, this is kind of a giant takeoff of the whole cute girls doing cute things in an after-school club setting, despite the fact they never do the thing the after-school club is actually set up to do, in this case, tennis. I think there's like 4 in total instances of them actually doing anything tennis-related, and generally they just sort of tear the place apart. But yeah, all the characters are kind of awful. You have the one straight man character, Yuri, and then the rest of the cast who are generally awful people, which is important. The whole series is, you'll notice from the clip, because I've got an entire episode coming up because it's 2 minutes, why not? Is timed down to the microsecond, and basically the voice actors talk really, really fast, and they compress it all down, and they have a very set time limit. The entire thing is timed kind of amazingly. I bought one of the DVDs from Japan, and I got the animatic, which is what the voice actresses time their lines to, and it's just a blur. It's kind of fascinating how they fit it all in. Anyway, so here's a full episode, including the opening credits, which lasts about 2 minutes. This is one of the earlier seasons. It's one of my favourite episodes. So yeah, don't blink or you'll miss this entire show. So yeah, that's an entire episode of Teekyu. It's real good. Yeah, even being able to read really fast, you kind of need to watch each episode multiple times, which is nice because it's a 2 minute show that lasts about 20 minutes because you're like, wait, I missed a joke. Sorry? No. I'm pretty sure there'd be a voice another. If this got a dub, there'd be a voice actress strike. I swear to goodness. Also, for some reason that is best known to the manga author, every episode is like a movie and senpai, and there's no logic to it. It's just there for a weird laugh. But yeah, I love this show. It's real dumb. Next is Mai Mi, which is its weird, ugly, deformed sibling. It's got an episode with 39. It's got 39 episodes over 3 seasons. Sorry, angrier. Yeah, really weird, angry, non sequitur comedy. 3.5 minutes each. Really ugly. The manga it's come from is really, really intensely ugly, but it's kind of charming in how wretched it is and how the characters constantly move between high but awful detail and low but still kind of slightly less awful detail and everywhere in between. Does the whole cast of us in a school club type thing where they're all in the after school manga club. Only one of them actually draws manga and the other two basically I don't even know, frankly. Also, it has the whole thing where every character has 6 backstories because they just decide to make up new backstories for weird gags. At one point, they get lost in New Jersey and curse out the state for a good minute and a half. That was really weird. I will admit it's quite Marmite-y. Like you'll either like it or you'll hate it, or you'll come away going eh. So yeah, it's not everyone's cup of tea. One of the things I really like about it is the opening credits always have this bizarre like 8-bit Master System era sort of view to them, which I'm a big fan of, but is like the most sort of singular aesthetic thing. As mentioned, it has different character backstories, and it has a continuity which is roughly ignored for every episode, so you don't need to put any of it in your head. In fact, don't try to. Anyway, in this episode, a member of the cast has brought a hamster they've named imaginatively Ham into school. She wants to show the hamster to her friends, and, well, stuff happens. Here we go. Oh, and yeah, that is never brought up again. So yeah, next is an actual physical release you can actually buy in a disc form in a case from HMV. I think there's like 4 million copies of it in HMV at this point. But yeah, Melancholy of Haruhi-chan Suzumiya. This is a 2009 like originally web manga series that then got brought over as like an extra for Haruhi season 2 when it was released over here, kind of all bundled together. Based on the original source manga, which is an entire separate source manga that is itself based on the Melancholy of Suzumiya Haruhi franchise, which now is kind of long in the tooth and kind of fallen out of like fandom favor. But yeah, I really like this. Yeah, I really like this show, mostly because I've come to prefer it more than the source material, because it riffs kind of like endlessly on the inherent stupidity of like the after school club looking for aliens type thing. But you kind of need to know the show to get most of the gags, because a lot of it intensely riffs on the characters. If you are interested in it, it's like $5 for on DVD, because it's like a bunch of shorts on a disc. And if you can find it, it's on Amazon or HMV for like nothing. But yeah, it's also split over 2 parts because manga can't help themselves from splitting things up and making releases weird. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this. That's why I can't put it in. Also here as a physical release. But yeah, I've got a small section of it here. Oh yeah, in this episode it's Valentine's Day, and so the 2 male characters, Kyon and Itsuki, have decided to do something to surprise the female cast and sort of delight them for Valentine's Day. This jumps in halfway through the episode. One thing I like about it is how the animation, like, sort of detail level, jumps all the way around in between different states like Chibi and all that sort of stuff. Also, the subtitles on this are really bad, but that's just because I've ripped it from the DVD proper. Sorry, these are old DVD subs. Yeah, so yeah, that's that. As I say, you kind of need to know the characters to get much more than that gag. The reason I chose this gag is because it's just dumb. But yeah, the rest of it kind of riffs on the characters being weirdos. Better written than the frigging books are, that's for sure. Anyway, moving on is the one exception that breaks the rules, but whatever. I'm running this panel, you aren't. Good Fairies from 2011. It's got 24 episodes over 2 seasons. It's got nightmarish, horrific, awful stock CG and like a free pack of templates they downloaded off the internet to great effect. It's in glorious 360p, so your 4K TV will bleed if you try and play this.
That's a toaster version.
It's great. It's wonderful. It adds to it, honestly. Like the low res like makes the CG not as bad, because if you can notice all the edges.
I'm pretty sure that's what they use in interrogation.
Yeah, it's great. But no, it's this wonderful stuff. They also released a movie in 2014 that no one has dared subtitle because it's an hour and 20, which is far too long, and this show kind of goes deep and long. But yeah, I really like this show, and the reason I put it in here because I think more people should watch it. It has one thing that it profiled where it started, even where it has a random scene and then it has characters riff on it. Not just the characters, but the actual voice actresses just have to riff on what's put in front of them, and they have to ad-lib right there and then. It can vary wildly in quality, unsurprisingly, between like really well done and, man, you guys are totally stumped by this, aren't you? It's also good because you hear the voice actresses drop the whole like cute anime girl voice like sample line and just go full on like, what the hell are you doing? So yeah, I really like it for all those reasons. It also has like tons of stuff where it just goes bananas with the whole like, we downloaded a free pack of CG templates sort of stuff. But yeah, it's really strong on its comedy, and as I say, it looks real dated, but whatever, here we go. So I'm showing 2 parts of the show because it has so many different sections to it. This part is the scripted part where they sit around a tea table and talk, so they don't have to animate much. It helps a lot. So it has the characters sitting around, and this episode they're talking about how they want to try and do a good deed every day. And this is the second clip of the show, which has the like free riffing section that I previously mentioned. the more famous part that people generally reference when they talk about the show, called the dubbing lake, where they just get a weird clip of CG and the actresses have to free associate. There's some really killer stuff that I haven't actually used because I want people to go and see the other stuff of this show. Right, I'm going to skip ahead because I'm kind of running out of time. Next is kind of its weird sort of older sibling, younger sibling and sort of comrade in arms is Tesagure Bukatsumono, which is again on Crunchyroll. There's 3 seasons of it, 36 episodes, about 11 minutes each, so it's kind of getting the end of my criteria. The third series is really weird, even weirder than before, because it merges with another comedy show and becomes a weird amalgam thing. I'm not quite a fan of it, but it's weird. Original creation, no source manga, made entirely using Miku Miku Dance. It's one of the few things in Miku Miku Dance that doesn't have the hair flying everywhere, like Miku Miku Dance always does. Also had a very, very short manga serialization. Again, this is another repost of the whole, like, cute girls doing cute things in a manga club sort of thing setting. And the idea behind this club is that it's about the girls talking about, oh, what would this club be like? And they just talk about what they think an ideal X club would be like a volleyball club or something. Very meta, very sort of like written by people who like anime, but also like poking fun at anime and saying, wow, isn't this dumb? Has entire episodes and the entire opening song, in fact, poke fun at its own production and just say, wow, this is dumb. But yeah, it's real good. The one thing I will say is that it's a shame that Crunchyroll don't start the openings, because this one, as I say, is an extended 1.5 minute gag on opening credits themselves. And so we'll carry on from here. Okay, so in this episode, they're talking about what would make up a good anime wind band. So clearly riffing on Sound Euphonium, if anyone's watched that, but also just generally kind of nodding to it and also ripping the piss out of it. So skipping ahead. Also, one thing about that show, that clip I just posted, that's another free association section where the voice actors are just set loose and they have to just figure stuff out. So next is a new entry for the panel, which I don't have a clip for. Tsuredure Children. This was in the most recent season. 12 minutes each, so it just kind of squeaks in. Based on a really adorable manga that was originally like a doujin posted on Pixiv that then got picked up and then kind of hit big, and now it's over here. Hooray, you can buy it legally. Instead of having like one couple who have every misunderstanding under the sun and spend forever with their relationship, it's about a whole frigging raft of idiots in school in love and being real dumb about it. Has a small issue with a lot of the characters, especially the boys, all looking kind of the same, but like you can kind of use the whole anime hair differentiation method to try and pick them apart. Available on both Crunchyroll and also dubbed on Funimation now, which is kind of an exciting new thing. Here is a piece of promo art for it, and oopsie, no video. Sorry, as I say, I ran out of time to rip this one. I really like it because it's really cute and dumb, and also you don't get tired of the same 2 characters like dancing around each other, because you get like 24 idiots dancing around different pairs of each other, which also sounds kind of torturous now I say it out loud, but it's really cute, guys, I swear. Right, moving on. So Sekko Boys. This is the Ultimate Idol anime. Original anime work on Crunchyroll. It's 12 episodes of 8 minutes each. It's generally a sort of a skewering of like, you know, fandom and idols and like entertainment culture, and also trying to find any kind of job outside of university to keep yourself going. It's really absurd. It's good fun. It has a lot of really nice, interesting photographic elements that make it look really otherworldly and a bit sort of bizarro. And all the characters are jerks. Like every single character is a complete and utter prick, and so you don't feel bad when they do stupid things or they come unstuck. So that's real fun. So yeah, we'll have a little. In this episode, one of the boys gets himself embroiled in a scandal. Terrible. You'll notice immediately what's weird about these characters.
Sekko Boys.
So yeah, I'm going to skip the last joke because it's not actually that good and I forgot to cut it. Anyway, so moving on to the final part. What is the last of the 3 things that are important in life? This one sounds like a cop-out. Whatever, shut up. Hang on, where's the... Everything else. So here's the everything else section of the talk presentation. So first and foremost, Wakako Zake. 2015 show, unfortunately only 13 episodes long, 2 minutes each. I feel eternally frustrated this doesn't have more. It's about an office lady who, on the way home from work, pops into a bar, eats some food, has a drink, talks about it. That's kind of it. It's really nice and relaxing. Based on a still ongoing manga. There's also a live action version also on Crunchyroll, which is, I don't know, having a real lady like enthused like an anime character is a bit surreal to me, so I can't really get down with it. But yeah, it's basically just about like taking pleasure in the small things, like, you know, having something sneaky on the way home from work. It's like an equivalent of it's the anime equivalent of a cheeky Nando's over and over again, frankly. It's also the longest 2-minute show in existence because it feels like it takes forever because it's so relaxed and just showing you and telling you what's nice about the food and the environment and living in this moment. And let's just get to the actual clip. This is the middle part of an episode where our lovely protagonist is unwinding after an annoying day at work. This is a minute long, but it always feels longer when you watch it. So yeah, that's Wakako Zake. I wish there was more of it. So keeping on the food bent is Tonkatsu DJ Agetaro. It's a really weird, relaxing show about an aspiring DJ who lives in his parents' tonkatsu restaurant. It's really good. It's got really nice sort of like dynamic back of your notebook art style. Really nice use of color. Really nice sort of cheesy humor. The characters are all kind of cool to sort of see, and they're all kind of relatable and like just fun to sort of see mope around. Based on the manga currently ongoing. On Crunchyroll available. Great dumb sense of humor as mentioned. This is from the mind of Akitaro Daiichi, who also brought you PoyoPoyo earlier on, the round orange cat show. So yeah, he makes quite a lot of, well, when he gets around to it, he makes really nice shorts. But yeah, this guy is trying to become a DJ and generally sort of bumbles his way through it, hitting every obstacle on the way. And so this episode comes in the middle of the show's run, where DJ Agetaro learns there's more to DJing than just laying down sick jams. Also produces the best catchphrase in the entire show. So yeah, that's DJ Agetaro. It's really, I initially didn't kind of like it, but it really kind of grew on me from the second episode on. And due to timing problems, that's actually it. All I have to show you. There's more out there. There's more I could show you. Like there's an entire frigging like subgenre of weird horror shorts, which are rarely brought over because they're generally grotesque and pretty Goro filled, and also kind of bad in general. But there's more stuff out there. There's one thing that's nice, as I say, with streaming is that there's more and more stuff coming out, and including stuff that normally fall between the cracks because like there's no fandom like EP-ness from subtitling a short. But yeah, there's much more out there. I'll put the presentation up on the internet if you need any refreshers. I'm going to plug my own stuff again here. Sorry. 7:30 Action Castle. Come to that if you please. There's free sweets. Does anyone have any questions? No? Cool. Okay. So thank you very much for turning up. I really appreciate it, especially this early on in the con. So yeah, give yourselves a round of applause.